Are you feeling like you're giving too much and she's not giving back? Is this a momentary thing, or is this going to continue for the rest of the relationship or the rest of the marriage? I often hear from a lot of my clients that I'm just a giving nature of a man. It's just my nature. I tend to like to give more than receive. I'm okay with being completely fine with the bare minimum, or at least very little. And I tend to feel love and affirmation by treating others well. And I know I get hurt because of this, but I just can't control it. A lot of women just take advantage of me, and I'm not like other men who are selfish, egotistical, and going to treat women like crap. I'm soft and I love freely. I get it. You're a good man. You're a man of good values. And it has even brought you to think that women don't want to feel loved either. And you can't be more wrong about that. But I'm sorry that your experience have left you to feel this way. However, what I see is that this feeling or this experience continues, the more resentment and rage and burning out and fear that builds up in you as a man. That sense of hopelessness. And give, the more depleted you get, the more resentment you have when she's not doing or giving back into the relationship. If this is you, continue listening, because we're going to go a deep dive as to why this happens and what you can do to start leveling back the energy and the effort into your relationship or the woman that you're with. Hi everyone, I'm Christy, relationship coach. Welcome to Men's Mental Health Institute, where we try our best to close the gap between men and women by understanding how to guide men to reveal their unconscious and conscious behaviors that's actually either preventing them or has been helping them in creating genuine connection with the women and the people that you truly desire. If you like videos like this and you like topics like this, please do me a favor and click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below what brought you here. What's your story? What are you struggling with? What's your most painful parts of life? I want to create an army, a community of men and women if they do come along, but they might not like the things that I say, that can support each other, not only vent, not create a really rageful place. It can happen. I love the rage. I love the anger. But aside from that, what can we do to essentially create real solutions so that you understand how to build genuine connection with women and close the gap between you and her? So first, let's dive into today's topic, okay? When a client comes to me and he's explaining that he's starting to feel like he's giving and she's just not giving back, what I hear as a practitioner is basically the man in front of me is completely depleted and completely at his wits' ends of life in general. And this constant giving and giving is feeding back into your lack of ability to even perform in the way that you want to. This is a silent and internal battle that a lot of men go through because you're not really supposed to complain about hardships. Women don't like it. You get put down when you do, but it's really this ability to implode you until you choose to either break up with her or divorce her. I get it, it's a conflicting place to be. I'm not telling you to divorce her or break up with her. This is not going to be one of those videos out there that tells you, if she is making you feel less important, she's starting to pull away, leave that girl, right? That is not what I think is valuable, or at least to the terms that make you feel empowered or that it's a real solution. That's just a defensive mechanism sometimes, okay, sometimes. But what you're going through is you're starting to even entertain the thought of breaking up or divorce because you feel as though that's the only route that is going to make you feel like you can take a breath again. And that's a very hard place to be because I know you don't want to. If there's a solution, you don't want to do that. So here I want to give you some tips as to how to create peace and control back into your life without leaving her yet. However, it's a big disclaimer. I don't know you. I don't know your relationship past. If your relationship is physically abusive in any way, please understand that you may need to take a step back. These are just tips for the general population that are going through struggles. So you might be at a place where you're wondering if you should leave her or you should stay, because you're starting to feel less and less and less important to her, and you feel like you can't take it anymore. But you also wonder if this is a rational thought, right? So this is what I want to dive into and starting to help you understand whether or not it is a rational thought, okay? Number one, ask yourself, are you the problem? Now, don't hate me for saying this. I'm not saying you are. How can it be that I'm giving, and that I'm still the problem? But slow down, and are you listening? Now, I'm not asking you if you're listening to her more. You've probably done enough of that. I'm talking about whether or not you've listened to your past self. What I'm trying to talk about is this dynamic of this constant giving and giving into other people, other relationships, or other women, a common pattern in your past. If you're too overwhelmed and too emotional, try asking an honest friend or a best friend. Ask them, is this behavior, this constant giving and not taking, something that is very common in your past? Because many of the times a solution can't be found until you find out where that moving puzzle piece really came from. Is this a repetitive occurrence in your life? Number two, now that you've realized maybe this could be a repetitive pattern in your life and not just with her. A lot of men have the identity that giving, providing, and protecting is just their role. You've probably hit gold. Now, I'm not saying being in pain is a good thing. It's often that I hear my clients say it's not the pain that deprives them of happiness, but it's the constant repetitive cycle of the common behaviors and dynamics that they just don't know how to solve and break that creates constant unhappiness and constant pain. So congrats. Now you've probably realized that you're actually a huge moving puzzle piece or a huge barrier as to getting that effort and energy back from her. If she does this, like standards, barriers, like there needs to be some strategy, but now, right, come with me. You know it's a common pattern. And number two, you're probably one of the biggest barriers as to getting what you need or breaking the cycle and finding solutions. This is also the part in which a lot of my clients find the most value in therapy. Now you've admitted essentially that this is a common pattern and behavior in you. And two, that you might be a barrier and that there could be something to do on your own to just create some solutions for your relationship, right? This really helps a lot of my clients lose the resentment and lose the anger and lose the depletion of energy. And this is where your energy actually propels back up, because now you have idea of which you stop blaming her for everything. The blame gets transferred a little bit. I'm not saying all, okay? And I'm not saying she doesn't have crap and she needs to deal with, things that she needs to work on, chores she has to do, roles she hasn't been accountable for, right? But you're huge moving pieces in getting the behaviors that you want from your woman. And so what I'm trying to say is this helps a lot of my clients put some of the blame or accountability back to you, which is very powerful. You can see it as an opportunity for you to grow as a man. Number four, and this brings me back to the very, very last point in which I want to hit it home. And this one really focuses on real solutions that you can do. And I really want to illustrate before I start that your struggle, or a lot of men struggle in the common world and society, is that you're very competitive. And many times your ability to withstand hardship is your indicator of resilience and strength as a man. And so you don't want to even talk about it to be perceived as weak. I'm going to explain where I'm going with this, because your utter resilience and grit at being able to withstand hardship is exactly why you're here today. That you yourself are starting to question whether or not you can withstand the pressures of life. Now, I know this isn't easy to hear because, wow, I'm giving into my family and relationships and it's still my fault. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying your innate ability ability to actually be compelled to withstand hardship is why your family and your relationship could be at a place where they just have been ingrained in them to and take without knowing or hearing that you have your own pains and struggles that you're dealing with. Now, I want you to ask you this because you have to be very truthful with me because I can only do so much, or you can only realize so much if you are truthful with yourself. Okay? Are you the type of man that when someone asks you, hey, do you got it? Or when she asks you, hey, babe, do you have this? Do you got it? Can you do this? Because you don't want to sound weak and you don't want to sound like you don't have things under control, you go, yeah, of course. Or even worse, you're at your wit's end and you feel like you're giving, and no one really asks you, are you okay or can you do it? But in the rare moments that people actually ask you, hey, babe, do you got it? Or hey, bro, do you got it, right? Do you have it? Can you do it, right? Even the question of asking you is enough care and affirmation or investment into you that compels you to prove to them that you have it or that you got it, right? Many of the times, that is what compels people to be okay right away. It's that small moment of a question, but you still are drained. It doesn't devalue the fact that you're completely drained and you actually truthfully are at a point where you may not be able to do it. And if you do it, you may not be able to do it to the degree and the value that it requires, and you do a bad job and it gets blamed on you again, right? And so it just creates a cyclical cycle of not feeling enough even though you're doing everything and wrong, right? And you tried. It's a hard cycle to be in. No humans can possibly do everything. But in society, men are taught to withstand the highest pressures of life at all costs, losing respect from your male to male competition or male to male groups. Asking for help is not ingrained in you. I get it. However, I need you to think this way. You're constantly giving and giving because you haven't been able to understand that your human capacity has its limits, which is fine, right? But you can't possibly do everything. And what that means is, man, every king, every superhero, every leader learns how to delegate his responsibilities. Teach the people around him the roles and responsibilities that they have to do in order for the entire kingdom or your entire family to function properly. If you're a man that doesn't learn that you can't do it all, and that by asking for help or requiring help or demanding help from your woman, from your relationship, from your partner, that a healthy amount of giving and taking is what you require as a man and it's part of your values, you will end up depleting, your empire will crumble. Okay? So going through all those points one more time, if you're feeling less and less and less important to her, essentially, she's living her own life, your family is living their own life. Number 3 is, are you falling in the trap of feeling as though speaking up or asking for help means you're not tough, you're not strong, you don't have strength in you? And number 4 is really understanding the level of energy, the level of care and help that you've accepted. So from some of my clients, even a hey babe, thank you, do you got it is enough effort for the role. Okay, some men maybe just do it without even asking. Some men go completely on the other side, which is demand, right? And scream and yell, and your whole family goes into crumbles. Everybody's fighting. There's no true delegation and true unity for everyone to understand their roles. You don't understand how to delegate roles, and it could be that you're feeling like you have to do everything because you just haven't organized and communicated to people around you what you need because you see it as a weakness. So I hope you found this video really informative. Please start thinking about those points that I talked about. It's a common struggle for men feeling like they have to do everything. It's probably your superpower. superpower, but also your kryptonite, right? It makes you feel empty at the end of the day. And many of the times, men blame women or blame other people in silence, when in reality, people who care about you want to help. They just want to hear what is really going on, okay? So try that. If you're feeling less and less important to her, try actually demanding things, okay? Actually asking for things and not doing it out of love and unconditional care. Hope you like this video. If you like topics like this and you found these videos helpful for your mental health, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below what you learned, and please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. See you next time, guys. Hi everyone, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and IG where we post daily, and YouTube where we post weekly.